How important was it, I mean, not only to get a win, but to get a win like that with just a few games left in non-conference play?
It was a big win because we came from a 2-game losing streak, so it was a confidence booster, and that was my first time playing Pitt, so it felt good to be involved in the brawl.
Have you surprised yourself this season with, I know in the beginning of the year saying not 100%. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better than what I did last week, so, it's still a process, but, I mean, every day I still got to work at it. I still got to do treatment, I still have to do the things that I got to get here in order to go further.
How have you adapted your game to maybe some things that you can't do that you used to be able to do?
As far as, like jumping out of the plays and doing extra stuff like I used to do 2 years ago, I can't do that. I have to be smart about my movements, especially my cuts and stuff. And I know that probably doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's a big deal when you feel everything. So I have to be smart about how I'm moving and when I'm moving and, how hard I go sometimes. So, and sometimes it can be a bad time, but you'd rather be safe than sorry.
The funny thing is your stats say you're probably not hurt at all. I mean, your three-point shooting is better than I think it's been. Your rebounds are way up from your past years. People probably look at you and say, well, she's back to, better than before.
Yeah, and that's kind of funny because my stats do not define how I really feel. Like I say, I come in the gym an hour and a half, 2 hours before to get treatment. Some days I'm cold, some days I'm feeling great. So I'm still going through that process of trying to see what works best, especially on the road when we're traveling and stuff. But, I mean, I'm glad that I am able to produce rather than sitting on the sideline, so that's a good step.
What's been working for you from three-point range this year? I mean, have you felt like a better shooter and then rebounds too? I mean, just more opportunities or what's?
I think the rebounding comes from just thinking about it and not taking it for granted. My sophomore year when, I could have got way more rebounds, I didn't, and I looked at that film and I'm like, okay, I sat down last year, I need to do better, I need to emphasize some things in my game, and three-point shooting, knowing when to shoot, and I take a lot of shots. My percentage went up, and then rebounding, I mean, it's just thinking every shot is a miss and crashing the boards when I can, because last year I couldn't. So I think that has a big thing to do with it.
It's kind of crazy what can happen when you actually sit down and look at what you've studied your own game instead of looking at films of the other teams and stuff. When you actually have a chance to look at your own self, what you can find, I guess. So,
yeah. I had a whole year to do that. I had a whole year to coach. I had a whole year to be with Coach Carey, look at the refs. I mean, last year was a complete 180 for me. It was a game changer.